we can enjoy so much more of our lives, and we can actually enjoy the quote unquote busy by how we shift our perspective.
And we're back
with another episode of He Said, She Said.
So, schedule, chaos, a million things going on. People have been asking, like, how do you get it all done? Do you work till midnight? What do you do? Right? I literally feel like I'm working 2 full-time jobs right now. 1, building this app, Frollo. 2, keeping up the personal brand. Mm-hmm. You're doing all of your stuff. Plus we have, like, I don't mean this like a complaint, but like bouncing home to home has been a lot. I've been on an airplane
it's a lot of extra
3-4 times a week.
A blessing for sure, but it's another thing to schedule. I don't understand how people with kids do it.
I know, but that's what we're actually going to talk about is you and I were talking about this in the car, and we're like, yet everything gets done. We stress about how much time we have. We stress about when we're going to fit things in. We stress. And yet somehow all the important stuff gets done.
So this brought us to the topic in the car on the way home of there is always enough time for the important things. Yep. There's always enough time for the priorities. And we were talking about remembering that mantra because we used to say it a lot. And I think we got away from it, which the stress can kind of go up when you start to get busier, obviously. So getting back to, instead of saying, oh my God, I'm stressed out. How am I going to fit this in? This feels like too much. Replacing that with the mantra, there's always enough time for everything, or there's always enough time for the priorities. And it has proven over and over and over again, because look at your day yesterday.
Yeah, insane. So I had a tooth fallout. You guys, I got new veneers. My old veneers were 14 years old. I had to change them out. So I got new veneers put on, and one of them, as I'm leaving the dentist, he's like, man, we should have made this a crown. This one's going to pop off for sure. I'm like, okay, 1, thanks for that, dude. But 2, he was right. Like, I knew that one was going to come off. He knew that was going to. So sure enough, the first day we get back out here, because I had them done in, Scottsdale there. First day we get back out here, a couple days later in Newport, all of a sudden my veneer pops off in the beginning of my meetings.
In the beginning of a long day.
With like 8 Zoom calls, right? Fundraiser calls, coaching calls, all that stuff.
If you guys don't know veneers, like what's under there, they literally, this is going to be a lot for anyone who doesn't know. They file your teeth down so it looks like a little razor tooth. So it's not exactly like your real tooth is under there. It's like a little baby fang.
It's an ugly pirate fang.
It's a fang.
It's an ugly pirate fang, right? So it's funny because 2 things happened. One, I didn't get stressed about having a baby pirate fang showing like I would have in the past. Like I've outgrown that as a stress. My stress was, how in the hell am I going to find time to go find a dentist here, Orange County, that'll fit me in real quick and cement this thing back on? Mm-hmm. And then how am I going to find time to get back to our real dentist who, created all these and get the crown put on? Yet somehow I found the right dentist. They fit me in on a break. I had to move one little thing, and I'm flying in and out same day next week to turn this thing into a crown, right? So it'll hold better. All that to say, even when crap pops up, even when the unexpected happens and you don't have room in your schedule, like I show you my schedule all the time, there's not room in there, is there?
No.
Nobody books stuff more back to back than me. And yet somehow there always is room for the important stuff. And so I say this just because we stress and we stress and we stress. How are we going to fit it all in? Yet the important stuff fits in. Not all the stuff, the important stuff.
So this whole thing is to remind us and remind you guys about the fact that we can enjoy so much more of our lives, and we can actually enjoy the quote unquote busy by how we shift our perspective. Because there's so many days, Chris, where it's like, well, I know that we're so back to back sometimes. And yes, I would love more free time. But at the same time, this is our reminder to each other all the time. This is what it looks like to build your dreams.
Yep.
This is what it looks like to build your dreams. So I haven't met anyone where it's both. Like sometimes we do get a lot of spaciousness. So we always try to focus on that. Like, hey, sometimes we do make a lot of time for spaciousness, but there's also the times where you really are going to be feeling like there's not a lot of time. And that's when you really have to practice your perspective and relationship with time, because that's going to determine how you feel about your life. Not what's back to back, but how you perceive what you're doing and how you're perceiving time. Is there always enough time for what you want? Hey y'all, I'm so excited to share with you that this podcast, Earn Your Happy, is now a part of the Growth Day Podcast Network. Truly, this is like one of the most exciting things that has ever happened to me. I'm telling you, I no longer feel like I'm doing this alone, and I actually get to collaborate with the people who host the podcast that I'm obsessed with, like that I have been listening to myself, who inspired me to start a podcast, who have taught me about how to go and do the thing, like the original people who got me motivated through listening to their podcasts. You guys, a bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and to support shows and brands that we believe in. And one of my friends are also on this network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to their show. You guys, I just had Danielle Canty on of the Boss Babe podcast. She co-hosts it with her other amazing co-host and one of my friends, Natalie Ellis. You guys, you can go check out that podcast on mine. It's episode 925, and Danielle and I talk all about burnout and how that could be showing up in your life, and most importantly, how to prevent it. But I want to tell you, if you have not gone and checked out the Boss Babe podcast yet, go subscribe, because it is one of the largest online communities for ambitious women and female entrepreneurs. And I know that if you're listening to the show, chances are that's probably you. You guys, they have 3.6 million followers and 380,000 subscribers. The Boss Babe podcast is the place where they share real behind the scenes of building successful businesses, achieving peak performance, and learning how to balance it all. Most of all, you guys, truly, these women are in my life. Danielle and Natalie are people that I text on a weekly, monthly basis when I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel stuck. What should I do? I tune into their podcast, you guys, to learn. Even though they're my friends, I am still like crazy obsessed with this podcast because I learn something new every single time I listen. It makes me be a better podcaster. It makes me be a better businesswoman. It just makes me be better and more confident out in the world because they're so real and raw. And I can tell you that in the moments where I have had horrible days, down days, I've either gone and listened to this podcast or I've texted them, because these are the people who truly get it. You want to listen to the people who are walking in the same footsteps that you are. You guys, go check out the Boss Babe podcast. You're not going to be sorry. And it's just going to like make you way smarter, and you're going to have way more fun. So go check it out.
Here's a few tips to kind of help people with this. The first one is what you just said. It's your perception of little time that is the stressor, not the actual time you have.
Right.
That's number one. Number two, our friend Christine Hassler would call it an expectation hangover. You might expect that you deserve more time in between calls. You might expect that you deserve more time to have your coffee. You might expect that you have a longer workout. But it's that expectation not being met that is the stressor, not the actual lack of time itself. And then I think the third thing is, gosh, I've talked about this on the show a lot. Whether you're given a big container or a little container to do the important stuff, you're going to fit the same amount of quality work into the container you're given, right? I had a boss that taught that to me a long time ago. So by being forced to give yourself smaller containers, then you just do the same amount of work with more passion, faster and more furious in that small container instead of the larger one that you would have let it just drag out to.
And by practicing these things, your capacity will grow. You will wake up in a year and go, I'm doing in 1 week what I used to accomplish in a month. And that is no exaggeration. Chris, do you think that you're doing in 1 week what you actually might have used to have done in 2 months?
Easily. We talk about this all the time. Capacity. Yes. Your capacity grows.
Yeah. And you don't even realize it. You're not necessarily focusing on your capacity growing, but your attitude and perspective shifting around what you're doing in the time that you have will help your capacity grow.
You know, we just got home from the gym. It's no different than building a muscle, right? You might have been able to lift 50 pounds at one point, and you couldn't imagine how you're going to lift 100. And now 100 is your warm up, and now you can lift 200, right? And then you're like, oh, I can't imagine how I'd ever get to 300. It's just capacity.
Yeah.
As more is thrown at you, you grow this capacity muscle.
One last example, and we'll wrap on this because we actually have to. It's so good with the timing thing. So we walked through the door with 10 minutes before his call is about to start. And we know we have to get this podcast off to our editor right now.
Yep.
And in the past, I would have said, no, 10 minutes is not enough time to get a podcast done. This is crazy. And then just stressed about it and been so upset that we're not fitting everything in. And instead we said, sit down. We're doing it right now. There's like, we can bust this out no matter what. Let's just get it done. And here we are. We are now at the 7-minute mark. We've got 50 seconds left to wrap this up, Chris.
I love it, guys. Listen, we always love and appreciate you listening. We love when you share it. We love when you tag us and share your thoughts with us. So please never stop doing that.
All right, you guys, we're so grateful for you, and we will talk to you next week.
Hey, do you know what the big secret is this year? And it shouldn't be a secret because this should be your biggest focus. It is building your community. I am always working on building and nurturing my community, and everyone is talking about the power of community. Without an online community, you just cannot grow organically or create a real movement, which is what I know that we're all after. And you can build trust or monetize your audience. When you get community right, not only does your audience grow faster, but so do your sales. But where's everybody going to be managing their communities these days? And a lot of online entrepreneurs and thought leaders are turning to Circle.so. Circle is an all-in-one community platform. It lets you host content and create discussions, live streams, group chats, and memberships all under your own brand. And what's so cool about Circle.so is that you don't even need a website or Facebook group. Instead, Circle lets you build your own community site where you can host content and manage your members. You can even create locked and unlocked content spaces, groups, and classes. How freaking cool is that? You can put your content behind a paywall too, and you can charge different amounts of money for different spaces on your community site. Circle.so is famously easy to use, and it has a free 14-day trial for you, so you can go check it out, see if you like it, see if you love all the options. Just go to Circle.so. Go check it out right now, you guys. Imagine being able to manage your community, start group chats and live classes, and accept payments all in one place. Kind of mind-blowing since this is usually spread all over the place. You have to log into so many different things. If this is the year to capture, organize, and monetize your community, head over to Circle.so. You can get a free trial and start building your online community right now. Just go to Circle.so. You guys, you get the 14-day free trial. So just go and see if it's for you. It's going to streamline everything and make your life so much easier. It's so freaking cool. Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. And I want to make sure that you have my phone number, and I'm not kidding. Did you know that I have a community text number? For real. My phone number is 310-496-8363. This goes directly to my phone. All you have to do is text the word daily to 310-496-8363. And I literally text you every single day, Monday through Friday. I actually just got done 30 seconds ago texting a bunch of people back, and I talk to you all of the time. You guys, people always ask me how I got my community text number and how it works. Well, all you have to do is you can just go to community.com and get your own. Community makes it easy to get a phone number that you can use to build your audience using text. People just text you at your number and they're added to your group. Then you can text them out audios, video links, anything you want. You guys, I text out happy birthday videos. I love to send podcast links, thoughts about life, book recommendations, different events that I'm doing in the local area. Texting gets me out of the noise of social media and directly into your hand. And now you can start texting your people too. Just go to community.com to get your phone number. They give you a 10-digit real phone number, not those weird short codes that look like spam, but it's more than a phone
phone number. Your new number comes with an inbox for SMS and texting. This means you can actually manage your text list from your computer and an app on your phone. You can schedule texts to send at certain times and to certain groups. You can even set up auto replies or let your assistant or customer service team answer your text messages via Community's awesome dashboard. Just go to community.com and ask for a free demo. They'll show you how it works and get you your number. It's time to start texting your audience versus just posting on social media. Everyone uses Community for that. So go check them out at community.com. I can tell you it's not just great for communicating with my audience, but Chris and I use Community and our texts to also sell out our launches. I'm telling you, you get such an incredible response because you really are creating a true, deep sense of community. And it's so intimate. It's freaking amazing. Go check it out at community.com.